Welcome to Fix It Home Improvement, covering projects that every homeowner should know and great products for home and garden.
Hi, I'm JC, and this is where we share weekly home improvement tips. I'm here with my co-host, Cindy.
Hello, JC.
Hi, Cindy. This week we're going to talk about using stone as landscape mulch, and we'd like to thank Kyle Gentner for liking and sharing the podcast. And we got a couple new 5-star reviews for our 14th ebook.
Woohoo!
No one left a name, but you can check out our new ebook. It's called Home Improvement Solutions, What Every Homeowner Should Know, Book 14, and you can download a copy on Amazon. There are paintings that date back to around 700 AD that show stone and rocks being used as landscaping.
Did they have garden gnomes?
Formal rock gardens in China and Japan using stones with larger rocks and plants as accents dates back to around 1000 AD. In 1770, the book Observations of Modern Gardening talked about using rock for landscaping.
Exciting.
An alternative to wood mulch in a landscape bed is using decorative stone, because one of the disadvantages of wood mulch is it breaks down and it'll need to be replaced over time.
Yeah, it looks great for like 2 months
Right.
after you put it down.
Well, it's funny, some types will break down pretty quickly, and a year later you're going to have to add more so you can maintain that 2 to 3 inch thickness.
Mm-hmm.
And even with longer lasting mulch, like bark mulch, you're going to have to add more in 3 to 5 years to maintain the thickness and the appearance. What's nice about landscape stone is it doesn't break down, it's low maintenance.
Right, because it's stone.
Right. And over time, it can actually be less expensive than wood mulch since you're not replacing it.
Right.
Stone as a landscape mulch isn't great for every landscape area because stone can raise the soil temperature too high for delicate or heat-sensitive plants if you're in a hot climate.
Mm-hmm. A
study by Michigan State University found that 3 inches of wood chip mulch reduced the midday soil temperature by 18 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
One way to use stone and have more flexibility on the plants or the flowers you have in a landscape bed is to use decorative stone throughout the bed, but then create areas with your plants covered with mulch or compost. So this way it makes it easy to replace or change plants in these areas, and they're going to get more nutrients if you cover that area in compost. Shrubs, evergreens, and decorative trees do well with landscape stone, along with plants and flowers that are drought resistant. So if you don't want to create these mulched areas for your plants, you can just use landscape stone, but keep the stone a few inches away from the plant's stem.
Right.
And if you're using a landscape fabric under the stone, keep that cut back a few inches from the stem also. And then in that small area, you can put 1 inch or 2 of compost over the soil around the stem.
Okay.
You can search online for rock garden plants or rock garden shrubs to see plants that are low maintenance, they don't need a lot of water, and they do well in a landscape bed covered with stone. Landscape stone comes in a range of colors, size, and textures. You can get stone that's primarily one color or multicolored stone. And if you're in a hot climate, a light-colored stone is going to reflect more heat than dark-colored stone.
Okay.
Colorado State University says in cool and cold climates, stone mulch is going to transfer heat to the soil to help regulate soil temperature in cold weather, and it can enhance soil microbe health.
Cool.
Stone as a landscape mulch is good for the side or back of your home if you don't have landscape plants. And if you plan on changing over to stone mulch, you can create an area for garbage cans or use stone around a shed to match your landscape beds rather than having grass up to the shed.
Mm-hmm.
Landscape stone can be used around pools or patios or your mailbox, and you can match it to your landscape areas. And you can make a transition from your landscape area around your home's foundation to an arroyo for drainage. Or you can extend the landscape area in the back of your home to a seating area for a fire pit.
You really like saying arroyo, don't you?
You got to check out our arroyo episode if you haven't. To conserve water, some towns are encouraging homeowners to reduce the amount of plants and grass around their homes and landscape with drought-resistant plants or create rock gardens for curb appeal.
Right.
Aurora, Colorado had a rebate program offering up to $3,000 for homeowners who converted to water-wise landscaping and up to $4,500 for adding plants that need no watering.
Wow.
Boulder, Colorado had a program that gave away free drought-resistant plants for 200 square feet of lawn removal, and they wanted you to convert that lawn area into a landscape area with stone or mulch.
Cool.
Chandler, Arizona was giving $200 for every 1,000 square feet of grass that was removed and replaced with water-saving plants, stone, or mulch.
You know, like if you're living in a desert, I don't think you should be allowed to have grass.
Right. Well, it's nice they're giving incentives.
Right, or have fake grass.
Right. Highlands Ranch, Colorado was giving $1 per square foot of lawn removal if you replaced it with stone or mulch. Flagstaff, Arizona, you would get a $500 credit on your water bill for lawn removal, up to $3,000 depending on how many square feet of lawn you removed. And Mesa, Arizona was giving away $500 for every 500 square feet of lawn removal. So call your local water provider and your town to see if there's any rebates that are available if you change over to stone landscaping, or see if there's anything planned in the future.
Cool. I should call my cousin that lives in Colorado and tell him about this. Because he hates yard work. And it'd be less mowing, less edging, less everything.
Weed control, trimming, watering, yeah, absolutely. If you're creating a new landscape bed, you'd remove the grass and dig down 2 to 3 inches, depending on the type and the size stone you're going to be using. If you're replacing mulch with stone, you'd rake up all the old mulch and then dig down if needed. If your stone size is a 1/2 inch diameter or less, you'd want the stone to be about 2 inches deep. For stone 3/4 to 1 inch in diameter, you'd want the depth around 3 inches. For 1 inch or larger stone, you'd want the depth about 4 inches. I got some tips from Home Depot for landscape rocks. They say a 0.5 cubic foot bag of stone will cover about 3 square feet at a 2-inch depth. A Vigoro bag of pea gravel that I looked at was 0.5 cubic feet and it weighed 48 pounds.
Wow.
The average size of the stones are between a 1/2 inch and 1.5 inches. And they have a guide online showing common landscape area sizes and the depth with the amount of bags that would be needed. They say for a 5-foot by 10-foot area, which is 50 square feet, at 2 inches deep, you would need 17 bags. At 3 inches deep, you would need 25 bags. If you're getting 0.5 cubic foot bags, to figure out how many you need, multiply length times width of the area to get the square feet. Then you're going to multiply the square feet by 0.33 for a 2-inch depth, 0.50 for a 3-inch depth, and 0.67 for a 4-inch depth. And that's going to give you the approximate amount of bags you need. So for that previous example where they said 50 square foot area at 2 inches deep, you'd need 17 bags, 3 inches, you'd need 25. If you multiplied 50 times 0.33, that equals 16.5. 50 times 0.50 would be 25. So kind of an easy way to figure out how many bags you'd need.
It's just math.
You can get individual bags. You can buy bags by the pallet, or you can buy it by the cubic yard and have it delivered from a home center or a landscape company. 1 cubic yard of stone will cover about 160 square feet at a 2-inch depth, 108 square feet at a 3-inch depth, or 80 square feet at a 4-inch depth. And if you're picking up individual bags of stone and putting it into your car or an SUV, check the weight limit, which you can usually find the weight limits on a label on the inside of the driver's door or in your vehicle's manual.
Do you think anybody ever checks that?
You should, because a 4-door car I looked at, the label said the combined weight of the occupants and the cargo should never exceed 850 pounds. On an SUV I looked at, it said don't exceed 1,100 pounds combined weight of occupants and cargo.
That doesn't seem like a lot, does it?
No.
Like if you have 4 adults in the car?
Well, if
you're carrying anything else?
Right, exactly. If you have a car with a load rating of 850 pounds and you weigh 180 pounds, you should only put 14 bags of stone weighing 48 pounds each in your car, which isn't a lot.
Right.
If you're removing mulch from a landscape area, a bow rake is going to be more effective and faster than a flexible tine leaf rake. A bow rake has a solid metal head and tines.
Yeah, you'll be out there forever if it's any other kind of rake.
Right. And once you've gotten up the old mulch, the back of the head is good for smoothing out soil.
Oh, that's nice.
Some top-rated bow rakes come from Bully Tools. It's Bully, capital Tools. Emsco, Emsco. Ames, Ames. And True Temper, True, capital Temper. If you have a compost pile, you can add the mulch to that. You wouldn't want to till the mulch into the soil because it needs to be broken down before it's healthy for the soil. Mulch dug down into the soil can rob nitrogen from your plants, and it's going to take longer to break down. If you don't have a compost pile, you can put the mulch in paper, lawn and leaf bags, or a yard waste bin if your town has that, and set that out for your yard waste pickup. But check with your town or the company that picks up your garbage and your yard waste to find out if there's any restrictions. If you need to dig down a couple of inches and remove soil for your stone and you don't have an area where you can use that soil, contact your town or your waste management company to see if they have a soil recycling program or if you can dispose of the soil in a yard waste bin. Most companies allow a yard waste bin to be filled with grass clippings, leaves, logs, branches, sod, and clean soil. If you're digging up old plants and shrubs, you would also add that to your yard waste bin.
Cool.
For digging out plants and shrubs and cutting through roots, a round point shovel with sharpened edges is going to make the job a little easier. And there are also root cutting shovels with serrated edges. The company Radius Garden, it's Radius, capital Garden, makes a shovel called the Root Slayer. And another root cutting shovel is the Root Assassin, and that's Root, capital Assassin. Some top-rated round point shovels come from Bully Tools, Bully, capital Tools, Corona, Corona, Fiskars, Fiskars, and Hooyman, Hooyman. Once you've removed the old mulch and any plants, you should amend the soil for your new plants if the soil is compacted, high in clay or sand. Oregon State University says use compost to improve the soil for a landscape area. Adding compost breaks up hard clay soil, allowing water to drain better and increasing microorganisms and worms. And microorganisms and worms help break down nutrients, so it's easier for your plants to absorb them.
Right.
In sandy soil, compost is going to help retain moisture and nutrients by the plant's roots. You're going to have healthier plants and healthier soil. Oregon State University recommends adding 3 to 4 inches of compost and then digging it down or tilling it down 8 to 12 inches. North Carolina University recommends digging down compost 4 to 6 inches, but deeper is better.
Right.
Before you dig, call 811, or you can go to call811.com. That's CALL, the numbers 811.com. And they'll contact the utility companies in your area to come out and mark the location of any buried utility lines with paint or flags. Once you've amended the soil, grade it away from your home so water doesn't pool by your foundation wall, and you can smooth it out with the back of a bow rake. You can put down a pre-emergent weed preventer like Preen, it's Preen, or Safer Weed Prevention, that's Safer, and Roundup has a product now called Landscape Weed Preventer. Put in edging around your landscape bed to prevent stone from getting into your lawn. You don't want to hit a stone with your lawnmower. Put down a landscape fabric that's going to be strong enough for rock or stone. If you have plants in your landscape area, make sure the landscape fabric is breathable, allowing water and air to pass through. A landscape fabric is going to help keep the stone from sinking into the soil, and it's going to help prevent weeds. Some top-rated landscape fabric comes from Southwest Boulder and Stone, Echo Gardner, and Echo is capital E-C-O, and Flaremore, F-L-A-R-M-O-R. When you're adding your plants, you want to cut into the landscape fabric and keep it a couple inches away from the plant's stem.
Mm-hmm.
If you're creating larger areas for grouping plants or flowers, you can put edging around those areas to keep all the stone contained, and then cover the landscape fabric by the plants with mulch or compost. You'd want it a couple inches thick.
Right.
As you're adding stone to your landscape area, you can use a bow rake to spread it out, and a wheelbarrow is handy for moving bags of stone around or filling up and moving a pile of stone if you bought it in bulk.
Right.
Some top-rated wheelbarrows come from True Temper and Craftsman. And if you like a cart style for gardening, for landscape plants and hauling stuff, Gorilla Cart, G-O-R-I-L-L-A, and the Works Aero Cart Wheelbarrow Wagon. And Works is W-O-R-X. Once you have all your stones leveled out, you can hose them down with a hose, and it's going to get all the dirt and debris off them. And it's going to
almost like a dust.
Yeah.
Powdery dust.
Right, yeah. It's going to look much better once you wash them off.
Do you have anything else to add?
For a low-maintenance landscape bed, you can get a few heat-tolerant plants and shrubs and then cover the area with landscape stone. If you want even less work, you can have a landscape bed covered in stone and use large stones or boulders as your accents, and then only have a couple shrubs or small landscape trees.
Let's wrap this up.
You can subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast app.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a review.
You can check out our home improvement videos on our YouTube channel, Fix It Home Improvement.
And you can subscribe to that as well.
You can download our ebooks, Home Improvement Solutions, What Every Homeowner Should Know, books 1 through 14 on Amazon.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a 5-star rating and review.
You can follow Cindy on Twitter at FixItCohost. You can follow us on Instagram, Fix It Home Improvement, and you can email us at fixitpodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you for listening.
Talk to you next week.
Into